Very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are fit and fine. Let me share the disclaimer with you, and then we'll move ahead with our syllabus. And today we are going to discuss about the large, small, medium enterprises. So here we go with the disclaimer. It is hereby declared that the production of the said content is meant for non-commercial, scholastic and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial only for educational use of the material may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights and the video shall be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. We'll wait for next 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, so others can join, and then after we'll start with our session. I hope you guys are working on your business plan because the deadline is very near now. One group has already done it, and it's a good one. Today we are going to discuss about the SSI with special reference to SSI small scale industries and the agencies, central level agencies and state level agencies that are working hard to promote the SSI. Yeah, it's deadline, but you have to work well in advance. You can read the entire documents carefully once again. You have to work well in advance, you have to prepare for it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here we go with the SSI, that is small scale industries. What matters a lot as far as the small scale industry is concerned, the important aspect is that small scale industries are backbone of India as far as the manufacturing is concerned. Majority employment has been generated by the micro, small and medium enterprises. Even in the video of Captain Raghu Raman, we have witnessed that. He spoke like that. We don't need 5,000 crore rupees company. We need 5,000 companies worth 2 to 3 crore rupees so that exponential employment can be generated. And SSI stands for that. SSI is a very basic and the first step for the entrepreneurs. Those who have idea with them, those who want to start their business but having certain limitations, and that limitations is in terms of finance, is in terms of other resources, in terms of investment and so on. So for them, for those entrepreneurs, SSI is the first and the most important step to move on. So let's go deep into that. SSI unit, very basic, we can say like that. An industrial undertaking in which the investment in fixed assets in plant and machinery were held on ownership terms or on lease or by hire purchase does not exceed rupees 10 million as on March 31st, 2001. 10 million equal to 1 crore rupees as on March 31st, 2001. It is to be treated as small scale industrial unit where the investment in plant machinery is up to 1 crore rupees as per 31st March 2001. Investment will be there in fixed assets, either in plant, either in machinery. Those units having investment of 1 crore rupees in plant and machinery will be considered as small scale industrial unit. It is to be treated as small scale industrial unit. Generally, people who want to start their own business can be grouped into two categories. I want to start my business. I'm very eager for that. But it will be divided into two categories. The first one is, the first group is consisting of people who knows exactly what they want to do, but they merely needs the resources to grab the opportunity. The first group people are very much clear about their future plans, their goals, their desires, their burning desires, what exactly they want to achieve, and even then they are ready to face the failure. They know exactly each and everything from head to toe. They know all the fundas of the business. They know how to grab the market. They know how to beat the competitors. They know very well customers' need, wants and demands. They are well aware about each and everything. In short, we can say that they have done their homework in a greater extent. But the problem is they don't have that much resources in their hand, but they merely needs the resources to grab the opportunity. And this is the biggest lacking as far as the Indian industries are concerned, lacking of resources, or we can say the scarcity of resources, or we can say the unavailability of resources, or we can say the limited resources. This is the biggest hurdle that every entrepreneur face in his entire life. So this is the first group. where the people are well aware that what exactly they want to achieve, how they can achieve it, and blah blah blah. The things we have discussed, they are well aware about them. But the thing that lacks is resources. If they do have enough resources, they will easily grab the opportunity. But somehow, unfortunately, they don't have. And the second group of people is consisting where who want to do their own business but do not have any definite idea what they would like to do. The second group people is like a people who do have all the resources available with them. They do have financial backup, they do have land, they do have good infrastructure, they do have labor, material, manpower, and all those things. Even they do have very good financial backup, but they don't know exactly what they want to do. No doubt they want to do their own business, but what kind of business they should do, what kind of product should they launch in the market, how to launch the product in the market, what are the need, wants, and demands of the customers, how we can differentiate the expectations of the customers, what should we do to fulfill their desires, and many more things. How to beat the competitors, what will be the pricing strategy, what will be the marketing strategy, and many things. They don't know this much. While the first group knows each and everything, A, B, C, D, A to Z of businesses, but they don't have resources. Other group is there who have all the resources from A to Z, but they don't know what exactly they should do so that they can achieve their dreams, they can achieve greater heights in the business. Class, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the basic differences that we can identify. The first group of people having clear-cut business idea but lacking of resources are there, and the second group who does have all the resources but somehow they don't know how to execute it. Now, for both the group, the optimum solution is small scale industries. The one who have all those idea but having less resources, they can start their business with the less resources, or we can say the limited resources. And the one who have all the financial backup but don't know exactly how to grab the market and all those things, even though they can take a little bit risk and start the business in the small scale industry segment or category. So government has recognized the important role of entrepreneurs in the industrial development of the country. No one can deny it for this. Entrepreneurs have really played vast role as far as the industrial development of the country is concerned. Not only, it's not about the industrial development only, it's about the entire economical development of the country. Because of small scale industries, because of the unorganized sector, because of the micro, small, and medium enterprises, employment has been generated like anything. People got employed, people getting their salaries to spend on their necessity. We have already discussed about this, and this is how the entire cycle runs, and the liquidity has been maintained in the economy. And that's why the role of entrepreneurs are much important. SSI, that is small scale industries, are essential for Indian economy in terms of employment generation, the most important aspect. Foreign exchange earning, because majority SSI are there in the foreign, we can say the export. So with the help of those exports, our country can earn foreign currency. So foreign exchange earning is there. Its share in industrial output almost 10% plus, or even if we see the recent era, then it may stand up to 18%, and so on. So these are the we can say like a simple benefits of SSI, or even we can say the role of SSI in Indian economy. We can write this: employment generation, foreign exchange earnings, share in industrial output, contribution to the national income, and so on. No doubt, we'll discuss all these points separately. As far as the benefits of SSI is concerned, advantage of SSI is concerned, SSI's contribution in economic development is concerned, we'll discuss all these points separately. But apart from that, you can write these points in your exam too. No one can deny it for this. You can write this. SSI are essential for Indian economy in terms of employment generation. You can add the latest data figures in this. Foreign exchange earnings. Previously, if you talk about the 1950s and 1960s, our country, Indian economy, don't possess that much foreign exchange or foreign currency. But nowadays, we have enough. And on the basis of the gold reserve and forex reserve, your soundness can be calculated on the basis of these two parameters, whether your company is whether your country is underdeveloped, developing, or developed country will be decided on the basis of these two factors, the gold reserves and forex reserves. Most important aspect. Its share in industrial output, SSI also plays vital role in the industrial output because majority shares has been contributed by the SSI itself, and contribution to the national income, GDP, GNP, and all those things. You guys have already learned those basic fundas in the economics. I think Professor Kulshrestha sir has explained all those things to you. The government of India and state government provides a number of special facilities and incentives for the SSI. Because government knows, governments are very much clear that if SSI grows like anything, if SSI achieves greater height, definitely it is going to affect the entire economy in positive manner. And same time, if SSI fails, if SSI wind ups the businesses, then also it is going to affect the entire economy in negative manner. And that's why only central government and state government both are working very rigorously for the development of SSI. Both have different sort of schemes. Let me tell you a few schemes over here, like startup entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, Mudra loan, entrepreneurship incubation programs, and many more. Venture funding, angel investors, and many more. I think you guys have heard the concept of triple P. Do you have any idea what triple P stands for? Triple P. Yes, what is that? Yes, very good. Public private partnership. Very good. Student, please be online for a while. Please be online. And that's why government are working rigorously for the development of SSI, because SSI is contributing a lot as far as the economic development is concerned, foreign exchange earning is concerned, employment generation is there, and contribution to the national income. The government offer a package of services through its specialized institutions like CEDO, like NSIC, like SIDB, and few others. Special package of services through its specialized institutions and motivates entrepreneurs to start their businesses, to spread wings, to achieve the greater heights, and so on. Central level government is also working for the same, and state level government is also working for the same. And in certain cases, both the government, central and state government, put combined efforts. So this package includes assistance in obtaining finance, how to opt for the finance, making business plan, making project reports, making presentation of those projects, idea, feasibility study of the idea, how to execute those ideas into practical life, what are the chances of loss, all those things, how much finance can be acquired, how much owner's capital is required, what will be your liquidity ratio, how many days you can sell your goods on credit, the cycle requires 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and so on. Same time, they also helps in marketing, how to sell your product, where and when you have to sell your products, what are the markets that you should cover, technical guidance, what type of machinery you should purchase, which capacity the machinery should be, what kind of horsepower and electricity consumptions required for those machineries, how to operate those machines, training for the same, employment development, employment generation, employees training and development training, and technology upgradation if required. For example, if you talk about the Morbi ceramic industry, initially they produce only tiles, ceiling tiles, then later on wall tiles, parking tiles. Nowadays they have also upgraded the technology, GVT, PGVT, these are the upgraded tiles. I'm talking about those products. Double charge, single charge, nano charge, double charge, GVT, PGVT, mirror finishing. They are increasing the size of the tiles, and nowadays they are also producing marble tiles. Yes, marble tiles. So when and where you need to upgrade your technology, because the same technology that you have purchased before 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, same technology cannot produce the marble tiles. You have to purchase new technology, new machinery for the same, and at the time government will provide guidance to you. This all sounds good as far as the government is concerned, but once exactly you enter into the business, you will come to know how to run your business. Once you have certain speed breakers in your way towards your success, you will automatically get the idea that how you should run your business. Certain downfalls will teach you too many things, and from that failure only you can learn too many things. So later on, you by your own judge the market, judge the demand, judge the culture, and all those things. And on the basis of those early signals, you can make move towards in the market. It is hoped that institutional incentives would play a key role in the promotion of small enterprises and ensure their self-sustained growth. Generally, if we talk about since 1950 to 1991 and even early 2000, the SSI was not performing that much great, no doubt. Almost if we consider the scenarios like this, if 1000 SSI unit starts, then only 600 to 650 or maximum 700 survives. Rest 300 wind up their businesses. And those 700s are also surviving with certain issues. They are not earning high profit. Survival issues were there. But nowadays, because of government initiatives, government promoting SSI a lot, so SSI is hitting like anything. So before starting a venture, an entrepreneur consider various issues of startup. Like the first one is institutional support to startup. What kind of institutional supports will be there from central government, from state government, whether they are going to provide funding for the business, whether they are going to provide land or infrastructure for starting of SSI or not. If you are aware about Aji GIDC, Metoda GIDC, Sapar GIDC, Sapar wherever, near Gondal Road, they all are working really very nice. And government has already boosted up them. They provide the land at very reasonable rates. Another GIDC is coming near Khirasra Palace on Kalawar Road, 30 kilometers far from Rajkot city. But yes, it's good one. So, what are the supports that government provides, state government and central government, as far as the GIDC is concerned? Then incentives available to SSI unit, like if you start your own business of confectionery in UP and Bihar and few other states, then you won't believe that government is providing 90% subsidy. Yes, in certain cases, government provides 90% subsidy on certain aspects. So this one is amazing. So incentives available to SSI, they also give some concessions in interest rate as far as loan is concerned. They also give subsidy. They also provide electricity with discounted rate. So there are many different incentives are available. Then statutory obligations, what will be the timeline, what will be the compliances that SSI has to follow. Statutory obligations, law and order, compliances that has been governed by the government itself. Startup strategies, what will be the strategy? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, coordinating, short-term vision, short-term mission, long-term strategy, how we are going to hit the market, and all those things. So startup strategies. Then dealing with outside agencies, there are many outside agencies. If you want to start your business in Rajkot itself, Then you have to deal with approx 7 to 8 government agencies for the different license purpose, for the different compliance purpose. It may be RMC, it may be banks, government banks, it may be NBL. There are many that you have to deal with. And key marketing issue in starting a new venture. This is the base where you need to marketize your product. Let me share one story with you. Once upon a time, one shoemaking company has identified one island, habited island. So they have sent their one employee just to check out whether we can sell our shoes on that island or not. That buddy went to the island and called his boss that, boss, we cannot sell our product over here because nobody is wearing shoes or chappals or sandals, nothing like that. So we cannot sell our product over here. Boss agreed, and then matter ends. After 3 months, new person has joined the company. Boss has sent that new person, newcomer, to that island just to check out the feasibility, whether we can sell our product over there or not. That person went to that island and called immediately to the boss and says that, boss, whatever the product we do have available right now with us, send entire stocks to this island because these people are not wearing shoes, chappals and all. We will make them wear. So this is how the marketing strategies can affect a lot. Where to sell, when to sell, at what price, what's your competitor strategy, how you are going to beat them, what's their product, what's their product's USP, and so on. Now, institutional supports to startup. Class, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, still there.
Now, institutional support to startup. Generally, an entrepreneur start a new venture in the form of small business. Basically, it's a very true and very clear-cut point that at initial stage, everyone is climbing the stair. So one by one, they will increase their investment because risk is also there. So, but obvious thing is that everyone want to start their business with a very less investment. And if your investment is less, then your business will be considered in the form of small scale industries. There are various institutions at various levels, state level, district level, central level, taluka level, and so on, which provide the necessary supports to entrepreneur for starting of a new venture. In Indian context, institutional support system includes the support system developed by the central government, by the state government, and by other agencies that precisely focus on the fund, how to get funding for your businesses. So let's start. Support system developed by the central government. Support system developed by the central government, and first one is SSIB, Small Scale Industries Board. We are talking about the central government. Small Scale Industries Board is the apex non-statutory advisory body constituted by the Government of India. This has been constituted by the Government of India itself to render advice on all issues pertaining to the SSI sector. What will be the main role of SSIB is to find out the current affairs, the current issues of SSI industries, of small scale industries, and then report the same to the government and how we can find out the solutions for those problems. Like previously, if you want to start any business, you have to go with lots of agencies, lots of outside agencies, and the process was too much tedious and complex. So government came to know about these things, and later on what they have done, they have done the entire process online under the tagline of ease of doing business. So SSIB works for that. It provides a forum to its members for interaction to facilitate cooperation and inter-institutional linkages and to render advice to the government on various policy matters for the development of the sector. SSIB, Small Scale Industries Board, will assist government, will advise government that these types of changes we require to promote, to develop our small scale industries. And the board was first constituted in 1954. Its term is for 2 years, and later on it has been extended every after 2 years. The second one is ministry. Like we do have Ministry of HR, the same we do have Ministry of Small Scale Industries that precisely focuses on the development and growth of the small scale industries at central level. The process of liberalization and market reforms. Liberalizations that took place in 1991, and after that the market reforms. Previously license Raj were there, Sahukar Raj were there, large industries exploits small industries and all those things, but later on market reforms because of liberalization. So the process of liberalization and market reforms has created wide-ranging opportunities of the development of small-scale industries. Previously, total number of small-scale industries were quite less, but nowadays if you count, it's quite high. Even after the lockdown period, more than 1 lakh SSI has been started and they are running good. It may be like sanitizer, the one who is making sanitizer, mask making, PPE kit making, and so on. It can be anything, but yes, new 1 lakh SSI has been registered with the government after COVID. It's a good one. So at the same time, changing world scenario has thrown up new challenges to the very existence of this sector. SSI is ready to accept the challenges, new challenges, because government is stood tall beside them. Government is ready to help them, but subject to certain criteria. We are well aware about that. There is no free lunch in the market. There is no free lunch in the world. So definitely if government is there to support you, they will expect something from your side. That is basically the documentation. So SSI is ready to face the new challenges because this sector is nowadays growing well. The need of the hour is to suitably strengthen the sector so that it could adapt itself to the changed environment and face the challenges boldly and effectively. This is a rapid change that SSI need to adopt. Previously, for a very basic example, pager were there, telephone were there, like STD PCO booth were there, Xerox and fax were there, but nowadays it has been changed. So one has to upgrade, one has to adopt the latest trend, one has to cope up with the current environment, one has to face the challenges very clearly, and for that government is making SSI ready. And we do have Ministry of Small Scale Industries who precisely focus on this. The implementation of policies and various policies, 5 years policies will be there, various programs will be there, schemes will be there. I would recommend everyone, once you go with the Nitin Gadkari business idea. It's really very good one. I personally recommend you to see that video. Nitin Gadkari business idea. Search this on YouTube. You will find many videos and all the videos are too good. Do you know guys, let me tell you one thing. They are selling toilet waters to the Bombay municipal corporations. toilet wastewater. Yes, toilet wastewater in 18 crore rupees to the BMC. Now see the height of the business. See the height of the business that Nitin Gadkari does have. So this is the one. There are many idea. There are many idea, and that's why I personally recommend. The video language is in Hindi. Otherwise, we'll show you right now because we do have international students with us. They are not comfortable with the Hindi language. So I personally recommend all to see that video. Nitin Gadkari business model. He himself wear a shirt made from bamboo and promoting the same. No doubt, khadi is there. Khadi is like a cotton is there, but a shirt made from bamboo, pickles made from bamboo, and many more, and many more. The Indian students, you guys have heard the name of the Tirupati Balaji and few other temples. Uh, they do have tons of hair. All the hairs has been purchased by the Nitin Gadkari. They are extracting amino acids from that and selling it to the Dubai government. They do have scarcity. They are in search of hairs. So you just see that video once, you will come to know how exactly that they are working. So the implementation of policies and various program schemes for providing infrastructure and support services to small enterprise is undertaken through its attached office, namely the Small Industries Development Organization. SIDO is working for this, for the various programs, for the various schemes of providing infrastructure supports and services to the small scale industries. Apart from that, KVIC is there that basically focuses on the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. They are promoting use of Khadi. They are promoting village industries, industries that are there in the small area. So SIDO is there, Small Industries Development Organization. KVIC is there, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, to promote the use of Khadi and to promote the village industries. And Core Board, National Small Industries Corporation, NSIC is there. NSIC is working really very nicely. We do have unit of NSIC in Rajkot itself. Three training institutes. NISIET, that stands for National Institute of Small Industry Extension Training, located in Hyderabad. The another one, that is IIE, Indian Institute for Entrepreneurship, much important. They are promoting the entrepreneurship like anything. Yeah, UAE stands for United Arab Emirates. It includes 7 emirates, and Dubai is a part of that only. So, Indian Institute for Entrepreneurship, National Institutes for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, NIES, BUD. These are the agencies that working at national level, or you can say the central level. The Small Industries Development Organization. The Office of the Development Commissioner, Small Scale Industries, is also known as the Small Industry Development Organization, that is CIDO. It's an apex body established in 1954 for assisting the ministry in formulating, coordinating, implementing, and monitoring policies and programs for the promotion and development of small scale industries. CIDO will work on the programs that has been formulated, coordinated and implemented by the government, and later on it will also monitor the same and find out the effectiveness of that. Implementing and monitoring. It has over 60 offices and 21 autonomous body under its management, including tool rooms, training institutions, and project cum process development center. CIDO will guide you throughout. And same time, CIDO will also monitor the policies and programs that has been formulated by the government and the effectiveness of those programs, whether they are effective or not. Thus, the main services rendered by DCSSI offices are advising the government, project cum process, like we can say how to prepare the entire project. Now if you do have the entire project with you, then what will be the further process that you need to go through? It is not like that if you have the entire project with you, your business will be established within a fraction of seconds. No, you have to go with the entire process. You have to go with the many governing bodies for the different license purpose. For example, if you want to start your own manufacturing unit of packaging water bottles, mineral water bottles, then you have to go for the ISI, then you have to go for the trademark, then you have to go for the patent and registrations, you have to go for the different NABL labs. It requires more than 6 months time to get established. So even though if you have ready project with you, the CIDO will guide you that this is the first process that you have to do, and this will be the second step, this will be the third one, this will be the fourth one. After that, the employee training will be there, technological training will be there, and many more. Clear? Yeah, thank you. So, advising the government in policy formulation for the promotion and development of the small scale industries, providing techno-economic, technology will be there, and same time it will be in economic rate. If we are expecting upgraded technology, we can hire it from the Italy, China and Japan. But no, we are here with limited investment. So techno-economic and managerial consultancies, common facilities through small scale industries or units. Technology will be there, but economic technology that we can afford. Then providing facilities for technology upgradation, modernization is required after certain time of period, maybe after 3 years, maybe after 5 years, and so on. Quality improvements and infrastructure. Once your business is growing, you have to invest in your quality improvement, you have to reinvest in your infrastructure development, and so on. For example, right now you do have machines of packaging mineral water, like we can say the 5,000 liter per hour. But if your business is growing, then you have to upgrade your machines and you have to come with the 10,000 liter per hour. So the technology upgradation will be there, modernization is required. Like even the Bisleri is doing, Bisleri is nowadays selling their 5 rupees small bottle or mini bottle, we can say. The shape is really very nice. Quality improvement, and the same time infrastructure is need to get updated or improvement is required for the same. And developing human resources through training and skill upgradation. We'll keep up to this only. In next session, we'll start with the NSIC. So far, any doubts, class? Any issue? Okay, thank you. So that's it for the day. Thank you so much, class. Enjoy your day. Wishing you a very happy Shivratri well in advance. Thank you. Yes, class, you may leave now.